Hello, I am Harsh Khattar, working as Assistant Professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering at ABES Engineering College, Ghaziabad. In this lecture, we will discuss about the microprogrammed control unit, what are the sequencing in this, what are the difference between the horizontal and vertical microprogramming. In last class, we discussed about the difference between the RISC and CISC architecture and hardwired and microprogrammed control unit. So, basically the complex instructions are used in microprogrammed control unit, where we have a control memory which carries all the subroutines, all the microprograms. Based on the microprograms, we are going to generate a control word. On behalf of that, control signals are released and the execution is done. So, we will see these all things in today's class. Let us have a look to the microprogrammed control unit, where the instruction is coming from the CPU and then it is going for the address generation, because one instruction may carry the multiple operations in it. So, here the very first thing is where to start. If there are 3 instructions, 3 codes in a single instruction, then which of the particular operation is going to execute first and what are the next 2. So, here the very first thing is start 1. Based on the start, we can say yes, this is the first point and the next second operation, third operation are decided by the control memory, where the subroutines are mentioned, microprograms are mentioned. So, here the complex instructions are coming to the CPU. On behalf of the instructions, the nature of the instructions, the code is going to be generated. So, we have seen this diagram in last class and I have explained how the control word is going to generate on behalf of the conditions and the status flags. Conditions means what are the conditions here, where we want to perform this. This is a new instruction or the previous instruction, the program is already loaded in the memory or not. So, all these things are the conditions here. And the clock cycle is very important, because based on the clock the execution is performed. So, here based on the instruction, based on the clock, everything is depend. Here when we talk about the microprogrammed control unit, the major part is depend on the control memory, and as we have the main memory, we have the cache memory. This main memory is carrying the data which is of the running processes, but this control memory is on chip, where all the instructions are previously written. You can treat this control memory as a ROM, read only memory, means you can't write here anything, all the codes are written, already written here, and you just need to fetch to get the opcodes, to get the control words, to get the control signals for the execution purpose. When we talk about the execution of these micro instructions is responsible for generation of the set of control signals. So, we will see what is the relation between micro program, micro instruction, and then how the micro codes or micro signals are generated. The basic layout of microprogrammed control unit is on behalf of the microprograms. So, as a user is writing a program and that program is coming to the CPU and it is converting to the process, then this process carries multiple instructions in it. Those instructions are going to further divide into the smaller operations, and those operations are generating the control words to execute. The same pattern is followed here when we are talking about the microprogrammed control unit, but the difference is here a program is coming, the instructions are coming, the instructions are further taken by the CPU, and then CPU is referring the another entity which is my control memory. This control memory is keeping microprograms in it. These microprograms are carries the various micro instructions. Those micro instructions are opting on behalf of the instruction which is taken from the memory, which is taken by the user, by the CPU here. So, these codes then converted to the control words. So that is the difference between the microprogrammed control unit generated control word and the normal control word, which we have studied in the previous unit. So here this sequence of micro instructions, because we can't say everything is done in a single instruction. Might be your task is to perform this task, and this task can be further divided into the 1, 2, 3 instructions. Instruction 1, instruction 2, instruction 3. And these instructions are now converted to the signals, and then we can say, okay, these are the micro instructions. Now, these micro instructions are going to execute, but we can't say our task is completed yet. Might be this micro instruction is complete, but these are pending. So can we say our task is complete? No, because a task carries these 3 instructions. So when we talk about these 3 micro instructions collectively make my micro routine. So this task basically relate with the micro routine, and here the micro instructions are there. When the micro instruction 1 is executed, micro instruction 2 is executed, micro instruction 3 is executed, now my task is complete. So here the control memory is there with the all micro program, micro instructions, and here microprogrammed control unit is keeping all the tracks that how many instructions are there pending, how many new instructions are coming, how we are ordering these instructions and codes. This microprogrammed control unit is basically divided into the 4 entities, and these entities are next address generator, which is also known as microprogram sequencer. In university exam, there is a 2 or 3 marks question individually on this topic, what is microprogram sequencer. The next is control address register. As we have control unit and its own registers like address register, data register, instruction register, in a same manner we have a separate CAR, control address register, CDR, control data register for the microprogrammed control unit. This microprogrammed control unit is carrying this memory, and the data, the address which is coming from this memory is storing the address here and the data here. So this is the layout of microprogrammed control unit. Take an example. If an instruction is coming from the CPU, as it is mentioned here, so this external input means that what data we are receiving from the CPU, and then this control unit takes this instruction, then checks how many further instructions are there. So like we have an array, so array is generally represented by the first address, and then the subsequent elements can be fetched. In a same manner we can say the first address is generated here, and on behalf of this the next one, the next, and if there are say 5 instructions, so it will complete the task in 5 instructions. So this control address register will carry the address that where this instruction is written, micro instruction is written in the control memory based on the address. For example, it is saying okay, the address of control memory is 101. Now it is going to the control memory. Here on 101 the micro instruction is written, and this data is going forward to the control data register, and this data is now going to convert the control word, and this control word is going to execute further. So this is a process, this is a hierarchy, that how the flow of data is coming from this input and going back to the execution part. Now what is there in a complete sequence? As it is mentioned in the slides that the control memory address register is there, which is specify the address of micro instruction, and the control register holds the micro instruction fetch from the memory, and one by one we can specify what the data is going to execute further, and the next instruction address is going to be stored here and managed by the sequencer part. So it is mentioned here that the next address computed in the next address generator circuit, and then transfer it further to the control address register, and the process goes on. The address of the particular micro instruction is there in CAR, this is CAR, and this CAR value goes to the control data register, and this data register generate the control word. So this is a complete process. That's why you are seeing this loop from the last block to the first block. So this is all about the working of microprogrammed control architecture. Now, if I take a complete scenario, because I have discussed about a CPU and then I am talking about the control unit. In control unit, I am discussing about the control memory. So basically how it look like. So here when we are talking about this thing, so we have a complete mapping of main memory to the control memory. Here main memory is generally giving us a address of the instruction, where it is mentioned here in the program counter. So when the data is retrieved from the program counter, the address of the next instruction execution is here, and we are storing it into the AR. This is the recap of everything which you have studied in the second unit, and now how we are using it in the microprogram sequencing you will see here. So AR is carrying the address of your instruction, it is going to the memory, and the data is coming here in the data register. This is your instruction. So when the instruction is coming here, based on your instruction, based on the operations going to be performed, it is going to the control memory. So here the control memory is taking care of all the instruction, all the operations which are coming based on the subroutines which are mentioned in it, the micro programs, micro instructions, everything is written there in the control memory. And then the data is coming here based on this address, the instruction is coming, and then the execution is going to be performed. Once the execution is done, it is coming to the ALU for the further work, and then transferred to the accumulator, which is the AC, the register name. So here this accumulator register performs the thing and then revert to the memory. And in same manner, the next instruction, again the PC is, the program counter is incremented, again the data is coming here in the AR, which is the address of next instruction, and this is the process flow, and in this manner the loop is on and microprogram control unit performs the task. So based on this thing, based on some numbers like what is the size of main memory, this is our RAM where the data is present and the data is coming from this. So generally we use memory reference structure with this symbol, and here you can see the difference between the size. When we talk about the control memory, it is mentioned here the size is 128 into 20. What it means? It means a one word mention in the control memory is of 20 bits, and how many words are there? 128. So this is the word count, and 20 is basically the size. Okay. Similarly here, this is my word count, this is size of memory instruction, and this is the location count, that how many locations are available in the memory. So it is 2048, and per location how many bits are there? 16 bits, as it is mentioned in the memory. Based on this word length, the address is generated, and here the instruction format is of 16 bit because it is mentioned here 16. I hope now the concept of this numbers is clear. Now here the address is of 11 bits. Why it is of 11 bits? Because we are talking about this thing 2048. So if we convert it to the 2 raised to the power x, so the value of x is 11. So here it is 2 raised to the power 11. So the address bit is 11. Instruction format is carrying the 16, which is mentioned here. So this is my instruction format bits, and the micro instruction code is of 20 bits. So it is what which is again bifurcated into the micro operations and the instruction address of this microprogrammed control unit control memory. So this is basically a structure. Here you can see this is a microprogrammed control unit where we have this control memory, subroutine register, and the control address register. Now what is next? Next is the bifurcation of this 20 words, 20 bits. As we know, the speed of microprogrammed control unit is slower than the other one which is hardwired hardwired control unit. But when we talk about the microprogrammed control unit, we have one plus point, that multiple operations can be performed together. Here you are seeing some numbers F1, F2, F3. These are basically the functions which we can run parallelly. So, 3 micro instructions, 3 operations can be run parallelly like these. So, if I magnify on these 20 bits, so first 3 columns are F1, F2 and F3. These are the categories of the functions which are written in the control unit. So, these functions basically perform the task, and these functions are 20 in count. As I said here that the first 3 columns are reserved. So, these are of 3 bits. So, here when we talk about this part, so here the first one 0 0 0 is null, that we can't perform this task, and the remaining one is 7 in F1, 7 in F2 and 6 in F3. The last one 1 1 1, this combination is reserved. So, in total we have 7 plus 7 plus 6 operations. So, 20 operations we can use here. Out of these 3 can run in parallel. So, this is all about the micro operations. These all are the micro operation codes. What is next? Next column says about the conditions. So, now if I magnify on this CD, so this CD says the condition. This is the overall layout, where means the diagram is simple, as I discussed about the main memory and the control memory. Now, I am specifically magnifying on the microprogrammed control unit. So, if I am seeing here, so this is my control memory, and this control memory is carrying my 20 bits micro instruction, and these 20 bits micro instruction is divided into the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts. Now, what is the working based on the condition? What are the conditions? Condition is of 2 bits. So, 2 bits means 4 combinations, and the combinations are very simple. Either we have this combination 0 0, 0 1, 1 0 or 1 1. If I am saying my combination is 0 0, then we are saying it is unconditional branching. Generally, it is the initiation of the instruction. When we talk about the 0 1, it means we are referring the indirect address. Here we are talking about indirect address. Next is say the sign bit of accumulator. So, 1 0 represents this sign bit, and 1 1 represents either a value of accumulator is 0 or non-zero. So, if it is 0, then we generally choose the 1 1 combination. Based on these conditions, we are going to perform our task. So, here these CD branches are connect with this MUX2, and based on these selection lines, we can say the one output is there, and the output here is either 0 or 1 only. So, this input, this treats as an input for the input logic. Here you can see the T, and this T value is of 1 bit. So, either it is 0 or 1. Based on this, the whole circuit is going to be performed, and the next task is branching. Means we are executing an instruction which is carrying 3 micro operations. Now, these opcodes are executing in which order? So, it is up to the branching part. So, branching says again we need 2 things here. One is this input 0 and input 1. So, these 2 bits are again represented in the 4 ways, and these 4 ways are basically the 0 0, which is jump to a specific address. 0 1 is basically the call. We are calling a particular subroutine here. Yes, this subroutine is required. So, we are putting the address here, means suppose one instruction is going to execute. So, the address of next instruction is stored into the subroutine, and when we call about the return, so it will return the instruction code which is written there in the subroutine registers. As I shown in the control memory that we have this SBR subroutine register. So, this subroutine register transfer the code for the next operation, and this is the map. When we don't have a particular micro instruction which is related to our opcode, so in this case some external map concept is used, which is generally bifurcated our code, like IR is divided into the 3 fields. In the same manner, we can say yes, this code is divided into the address, and then we are talking about the other bits. Okay. So, this is the decoding of the microprogrammed control word, which is generated by the microprogrammed control unit. So, these 20 bits are divided in such a manner. Now, what is this AD? This part is still left. So this AD is basically the address. What is the meaning of this address? See here on the AD it is mentioned it is of 7 bits. So this is the address of which part? Basically this is the address of our control memory. See here, if I focus on the control memory, the size of control memory is 128 into 20. So this 128 is represented by 2 raised to the power 7. So that's why the address is of 7 bits. Might be this is a question in the exam, if the size of control memory is 512. So here the 512 locations are there. It means 2 raised to the power 9. So in this case, the address field should be of 9 bits. Now, this is one example how the things are done with the help of microprogrammed control unit. In this case, the steps are same as you studied earlier, that we have mainly 4 steps. First is the fetch the instruction, then we have this fetch the first operand, then find the operation, perform it and get the result. So steps are common, but based on the nature of control unit, we can say yes, the very first thing to perform the addition is we want to get the address. So here it is mentioned, you can see the underline one. The first thing is to get the address from the program counter, because program counter stores the address of next instruction. The address is given and to take the word from the memory. So that is stored here and program counter is incremented here. The next one is, yes, we are getting the instruction here. Based on the instruction and the bifurcation of the instruction into the opcode and the data part, we are getting the data from the memory. So this part is done, we are reading the data. Then the next thing is we are taking in register which is my Y. In this we are performing an operation. Yes, the memory is taken out, the result is computed. Now we are going to store the result in the memory and that is the end. So these are the steps of operation. Now what is the important part? Important part is how we are seeing these things as micro operations in microprogrammed control unit. So this is a very important part. Now focus on these 7 steps and their operations. Based on these operations, we need to mark which operation is required. So how you will see this, how you will mark this? Let's focus on this concept. So this concept is very important. Here, as it is mentioned, we need PC out, then memory, then read, then select, then add, then this. So we have in total the 20 micro operations, and based on that, if in my first instruction the operations which are in use, I am putting it 1, otherwise 0, means PC in it is not required, I need PC out, so it is 1. You can see here it is PC out, so PC out is 1, MAR in, so MAR in is 1. So based on these 7 instructions, 7 codes, we are seeing okay, these are the operations, these are the functions which are mentioned there in F1, F2 and F3. So we are putting the value 1. So all those operations are mentioned 1 which are in execution, and if we don't want to execute that operation, then that value is 0. So this is a basic working of microprogrammed control unit with the help of microprogram sequencer. I hope now the concept and the example is clear to all. So what is next? Next is there are 2 type of instruction formats here in the microprogrammed instructions. Now let us focus on that part, because here we are seeing a particular function is marked as 0, 1, then 0, because this is not in use in the other instructions. So it is a fruitful part to do this thing, that we have reserved this, and out of these 20 bits, if I am saying the value is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 and the last one is 1, it means I want to just end the instruction, nothing else. So why a 20-bit word is required? So based on this concept, we have 2 categories, and the categories are horizontal and vertical micro instructions. If we have those micro operations based on yes or no, so we are saying these are the horizontal micro instructions. Horizontal micro instruction means that we have this structure and everything is mentioned here like this manner. So all the instructions are mapped in these 20 bits like this. So based on the occurrence of 1, the execution is to be done. But when we are making it more optimized one, so here the next format is vertical micro instruction format. So let's discuss about the horizontal and vertical formats. Horizontal format is, as you have seen, the long micro instructions are there. It is carrying the 20 bits, and based on the occurrence of 1 we are going to perform the operations, and it is efficient hardware utilization because nothing else is required. If the value is 1, perform this, otherwise nothing. So here when we are talk about the vertical instruction set, the short microcodes are required. If I have a code or I have a 20 bits code, now I can use the coded part in this. So we will encode it into, say we have 1632. So in 5 bits we can accommodate all 20 operations, because 2 raised to the power 5 can accommodate up to the 32 operations starting from 0 to the 31. So here in 5 bits I can accommodate those 20 bits which I was using here, 20 bits, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20. So all these 20 bits instructions are there. So with the help of vertical format we can use it in a coded manner. Like you are seeing here, in horizontal if it is showing the 8 bits, only 8 operations can be performed. So these are the 8 operations. If this is 0, this is 7. So in this manner 8 operations are performed. If the value is 1, perform this operation, otherwise not. Here in vertical one, these 3 bits can accommodate those 8 operations because I am using a decoder here. So in this manner, in the previous example, 20 bits are there. So for 20 bits, how many bits are minimum required to execute a particular code? 5 bits, because 2 raised to the power 5 is 32. So or 2 raised to the power 4 is 16, but you have 20 operations. So here the size of decoder required is 5:32. So this is the example. And if I focus on how the operations are going to be used in the vertical, horizontal, you have seen the example. Now come to the vertical one. So this is the example how the vertical instruction formats are taken out. So these are the 4 bits. On behalf of 4 bits, 16 operations are there. 3 bits, these are the operations. So like this. So this is the example of vertical instruction format and horizontal instruction format. If I focus on that this, how much decoder is required, what is the size of decoder, then you can easily compute. So this is one-on-one difference between the horizontal and vertical microprogrammed. You can see the parameters, execution speed, and if I talk about the university question, then the very important question on this is, although all the topics are important, but majorly the important ones are the microprogrammed sequencer. As I said, it is 2 to 3 marks question. Then the working of microprogrammed control unit, again 5 to 7 marks question, and the difference between horizontal and vertical micro instructions. So these are the important one. So in this lecture we have discussed about the microprogrammed control unit, its working, microprogrammed sequencer, example. So this is all about my lecture. Thank you.